So this session was focused on imaging and how imaging benefits patients and reduces the burden. That was really a big part of the session. So we're talking about technology, but we're talking about what are the downstream impacts for not just when a patient is in a trial, but years later, when they're in the next trial or they're using this imaging for their own care. And so we really talked about it in many different ways. The way that I really focus on it is that utility for the patient, but it's also coming from a how is the data stored? And it's really something that's not being done to the extent I think it will be done very soon. So we were talking about that from multiple angles, because this is part of future development for trials. I found it to be really interesting because we have people from many different areas that are having different perspectives. If you're a CRO or you might be managing more a highly technical part. I will say I felt really good about our panel and the expertise that we had on the panel itself and that interaction. Sometimes that is one of the most valuable things, that piece is really well done. And so we were asking each other or be able to contribute just by virtue of who was present in the panel itself. I've heard and I've been in conversations with people, and immediately patient centricity is coming up in many different contexts. And I find that to be very interesting. I've worked with Medidata on the Patient Insights Board since 2021, and different companies and people are also focused on patient experience, but in different ways. So I'm hearing about how sometimes that's worked out and sometimes it's been a miss. And I think that's really important to learn and talk about that, because the patients are the ultimate beneficiary of a trial. And so when you are talking collectively as an industry, you can get a better sense than when you're just doing it in your company or the people you work with. And also, we're in a European context. And so to hear it also through that lens, or even hear about, the history of that. One of the presentations was about ethics from like the 1920s to present. It really adds a context I wasn't really expecting.